Hello guys, welcome to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to create an EC2 instance, how you can terminate your EC2 instance, how you can reboot your instance, how you can stop your instance, what is the difference between stopping and terminating the EC2 instance. Okay, so let's get started. So you have to go to services and you will come to see all the AWS services. Now within compute service you have EC2. Now compute is one of the foundational AWS services and EC2 is very important. EC2 stands for Elastic Cloud Compute. So it means that if you want to understand that in a broad term, it means that you are launching in a server to do work. Okay, like you have your computer and it is of different OS. Similarly, first thing you will be selecting your OS, which is AMI here. It comes in form of AMI, Imagine Machine Image. I select an AMI2, Linux AMI2, because it's free tier eligible. If you see here, okay, it's free tier eligible. Okay, and let me show you. See this? It's free tier eligible. Okay, so you have to select those AMI which is free tier eligible if you're doing it for learning purpose. Else you can choose any other AMI. So now you select that AMI. Now you have next screen where you have to select your instance type, and you have to select T2 micro in case you want to launch a free tier instance. Otherwise you can select as per your need. So depending on the need, for example, if you need something for database, now database will have large amount of data, right? So depending on that you will select your instance. So for database and all, you select a T2 large type of instance, uh, X large instance, and but for our need, for the purpose of just for understanding, EC2 T2 micro is enough, and it's free tier as well. So if you're practicing, choose this T2 micro free tier eligible one. Okay, next go to configure instance details. Now in the configure instance details there are a lot of configurations. I will show you a few of them which is important to understand here. So first is number of instances. So you can launch 1 instance, 3 instance, 10 instance, 30. So max how much you can launch? I think max you can launch 20 or 30 instances at a time, depending on the region. It depends. Okay, again you can add this EC2 instance to your auto scaling group, which I will discuss in later video in case you are not aware. Next is network. Network you have VPC. So whenever your account is getting created, by default you have one VPC. Now that AWS creates so that you can work on it. You can start working on creating EC2, and you can start uh, using the services where it is required. Now if you have your own custom VPC, you can use that. If you have your own custom subnet, you can use that. So subnet is subnetwork. It is within the subnet you store your private and public instances. So you can have one subnet for private instance, one for public instance, and there are various subnets. I mean, they can be 2, 3, or more subnet within one region. And so for now, I'm doing only these changes, and I go to next step, that is add storage. So by default in root, I mean, if for any EC2 you will have one root volume. If you want to add extra volume, you have to add volume from here. But I will let it be like this, and I will add tags. Now, what is tag? So tag is a key value pair. Okay. So like you have a name tag which actually names your EC2 instance. Like you give EC2 demo instance. This will be the name of your instance. Similarly, you can have another tag as well, like department department, for which department you want this tag. So you can add it, you want it for finance department. Okay, finance department. Now you can configure security group. So security group are a set of firewall rules that control the traffic of your instance. Clearly written down here what it means, but we will also see in details during VPC configuration and all. So you can create a new security group, or you can use the default one. I'll create a new security group here, SG12, SG12 demo description, and you can add your rules. Whatever rules you want to add, you can add here. Okay, I've added SSH is already added, and this means that it is everything is allowed. You can give the description SSH security group, and you can review and launch your instance. And next step, you can review all what you have selected and you can launch it. So this is how you select all the configurations for EC2. There are many other configurations which you have to select after understanding and as per your need. Again, here at the last step, you'll get a key pair selection option. Either you can select an existing key pair or you can create one a new key pair. So key pair is a public key in AWS stores, and so basic idea of key pair, I mean, what you have to understand from here is key pair is used to connect to EC2 instance from the command prompt. From the command line, if you want to connect to EC2 instance, you will need the key pair. Say you create one new key pair. I mean, I will say demo kp121. Okay. Remember this. I'm repeating, remember this. You have to download this key pair so that you connect to EC2 instance. Now this PEM file, okay, this PEM file, the permission has to be given to it, and then you have to use that PEM file to connect to EC2 instance from the command. Now all the configurations you have done, you can launch the instance. See, launching failed. Why the launching failed? Because the security group already exists for VPC. Because this security group was already there for VPC. Let's go back. Let's go to previous. Let's give another name. Let's do 121 demo. Again, I will do a review and launch. Now it should launch without any issue. I acknowledge launch instance. See, now it should launch, and this is the instance ID, and you can see the launch log here. Launch initiation is complete. Now when you click on that instance ID, you can see the status of the instance. Okay, now this is the status of the instance. Now currently it is in pending state. Okay, and soon it will be running. Let me refresh. Still pending. See, now the instance which you created, which I created, is running now. EC2 demo instance was the name which I selected, and it's in running state. And you have the public IPv4 address here. Okay, and if you go to the description of it, you can see the AMI ID. You can see the KPA name KP12. No, this is coming for the last one, which is terminated, and that's why you are not seeing anything here, security group, because that was terminated. So do you select the correct EC2 instance. Now you have select the correct EC2 instance, and you can go to the description. Okay, now you can see the public IPv4 address, the AZ which you have selected, the security group SG121, the AMI ID, the VPC ID, the subnet ID, all those you can see, right? Now let me show you how you can use it. Now what you can do is, one more thing I can show you here is how I can launch one more instance from the same running instance. I select this instance, I'll go to instance setting, I'll go to, let me, where is that option? Okay. Huh. So in this, if you see here, right, there are see so many options here where you can change the instance type, you can get the instance screenshot, and so instance state you can see from stop, reboot, terminate. And this is one option which I wanted to launch more like this. What it will do is, if you click on here, it will launch another EC2 instance with the similar configuration. Okay, and it will straight away you can go to the review section. So I just want to edit this section, and the name I want to keep it as I want the name attack here, and name I want to keep it as, say, EC2 from another EC2 from one. So this is EC2 created from first EC2 instance, so I've named it as EC2 from one, and I won't do anything else, I'll just launch it. So this is a very fast process to launch an EC2 instance. If you want to launch a similar instance, you can choose the previous instance and just launch it. See, the launch is successful, and you go to the logs, and if you see there, see, I mean, if you go to the instance ID and if you see the instance state, you can see that EC2 from 1 is launching, and it has the same configuration what EC2 demo instance had. Okay, so this is shortcut method to launch one EC2 instance. Okay, and it has the same demo key pair, everything would be same, only thing difference would be the public IP and the tag name which I have changed. Okay, now you have seen here how can you launch an EC2 instance from existing EC2 instance. Now next thing I'm going to show you is what is the difference between terminating an instance and stopping an instance. Just note down the IPv4 for the first. So for the first instance, the IPv4 ends with 8120. Let me stop it. Okay, so I'm going to stop this instance. Now the instance is stopping. So what stopping means is the instance will stop, but once you can start that instance again, you can have that instance again, but whether the IPv4 address will be same or different, let's look into that. Okay, so remember it has 81 and 20 IPv4, right? It is stopped, you can see stopped, right? This IPv4 public IP is lost, and if you start again, you will get another IPv4 public IP address. So do remember, whenever you are doing some work for your office, it's not recommended to stop an instance because IPv4 will change. But in case you have to stop it and you want to retain the same IPv4 instance, there's what concept called elastic IP. So elastic IP will make sure that your instance IPv4 does not change even after stopping it. You see it? It was 8021, now it is 138 and 103. Now that this IPv4 has changed after stopping and restarting the same instance. The IPv4 has changed. In order to prevent this, you have to attach an instance, you have to attach an elastic IP with this. Okay. Now let's try to terminate the second instance which we created. We go to actions, we go to instance, and we go to terminate. We are terminating the instance. Yes, terminate. And we terminated the instance. Now, if you have terminated the instance state is shutting down. And once it's shut down, it won't be available for you. It's gone. Okay? So always remember, you don't have to shut down your instance if you want to use it for another time. You can stop it and use it depending on the fact that you have an elastic IP. Otherwise, you have to change your IP address and then work on it, which will be like a new instance. Now that is terminated, and this you have to do for all the instances. If you're doing for practice, you have to terminate all the instances. Similarly, if I go to EC2 demo instance and I want to change the instance type, see if you are able to change it or not. Are you sure we want to change the instance for following type? Enable. Say I want to change the instance type. Now if it has to change the instance type, so I've just changed the instance type. But whenever you're going to change an instance type, you have to stop it and change the instance type for that instance. I'm checking whether it is able to change the instance type or not. Because it's selected 2, right? I don't think it will be able to do. Anyway, the last one was terminated. Now, okay, let's go back to the first one. Actions, instance state, instance setting, image, instance state, where the change instance size option there. Change T2 T3. Now instance setting is instance setting you can change to T2 T3 unlimited. Okay, but again that would mean you will have to pay for it. Now I'll show you how to change the instance state. Just stop the instance, and once the instance is stopped, you can change the instance type of that instance. But again, there is one catch here that you end up losing your previous IPv4 address in case you have not used the elastic IP. Okay. So instance stop, I can change the instance state. Sorry, instance type here. Okay, instance setting, change instant type. So instead of T2 micro, say I select something like T2 small or T2 nano. Okay, and apply. Now this is chargeable, guys. So if you want to try it, you can try it, but soon if you start it, after that you terminate the instance so that you won't be charged, you hardly be charged in pesos or 1 rupee or 2 rupee. Okay, now you have changed the instance. So basic thing to remember is if you have to change the instance type, just stop the instance and change the instance type, select the instance type and choose it. You have changed the instance type, it's become T2 nano. Now you have to start the instance again. So it is starting the instance again. So quick recap on what we did today. We went to services, we went to compute service. Within compute we went to EC2. In EC2 we created one instance. Again, from the previous instance we'll launch one another similar instance like that. We first showed how we can terminate the instance. Then we saw how we can stop the instance, how we can change the instance type, and how we can restart the instance. Okay, so remember guys. So once you have done your work, terminate all your instance. So I'll terminate my last instance as well, so that I'm not getting charged for it. So this is how you work with EC2 instance. Basically, these all are the major tasks you do. There are other tasks as well. So you associate EC2 to auto scaling group. All those things are also there. But it would be more for this video. Maybe I will put it in another video. And that's for today. Hope you liked it and you learned something informative and you are enjoying my video. Like and subscribe and give us a thumbs up. See you again. Thank you.